And I was like, why are you so obsessed with me?
Only reason I dissed you in the first place is because you did not see me. Now I'm pissed off.
Eminem, one of the biggest rappers of all time, known for his controversial lyrics, record-breaking album sales, and his tendency to take jabs at pop culture, has had a long-running rap beef with Nick Cannon, known for being on the sketch comedy show All That in the 90s before having a short rap career of his own, and is probably most well known for the sketch comedy show Wild 'N Out. Besides that, he's also well known for formerly being married to Mariah Carey, who, like Eminem, is also one of the highest selling artists of all time. She also happens to be the start of this whole beef. Before we go deeper into it, go ahead and click that subscribe button to subscribe to the channel and click the thumbs up button to like the video. Eminem and Mariah both started their music careers in the late 80s. However, Mariah released her self-titled debut album in 1990, while Eminem didn't release his debut album, Infinite, until 1996. Things between the two go back to 2001 when Mariah Carey was to begin working on her Charm Bracelet album. She wanted to enlist the help of Eminem, who was essentially at the peak of his career after releasing both the Slim Shady LP and Marshall Mathers LP in 1999 and 2000 respectively. According to Eminem, they began a romantic relationship that lasted for several months. This, however, is something that Mariah would deny.
What's going on between you and Eminem, if anything?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Look, I talked to him. I, have spoken to him a few times, whatever. But in terms of me having like an intimate relationship with men, I can name them all on one hand, and he ain't on the hand. Less than one hand, okay? He is not on the hand.
That didn't sit too well with Eminem. In May 2002, he released his fourth album, The Eminem Show, which eventually wound up going diamond. On the song When the Music Stops, featuring D12, Eminem mentions Mariah by name on his verse with the lines, "What the fuck you take me for, a joke? You smoking crack? Before I do that, I beg Mariah to take me back." Then on the hit single Superman, also from the album, Mariah is again mentioned. On his first verse, he has the lines, "Ever since I broke up with what's-her-face, I'm a different man, kiss my ass." This would appear to be about either his ex-wife Kim or Mariah, as he got divorced from Kim in 2001 and was also allegedly with Mariah that same year. He then ends that verse with the lines, "Am I too nice? Buy you ice? Bitch, if you died, wouldn't buy you life. What, you trying to be my new wife? What, you Mariah? Fly through twice." Also on top of that, the pre-chorus mentions this woman being drunk, which further suggests the song is aimed at Mariah, as it was rumored that she has a drinking problem. Also, the fly through line is a reference that would come up again later, as apparently Mariah used her private jet to visit Eminem. Then in December that year, Mariah Carey released her Charm Bracelet album, on which she fired back at Eminem on the song Clown. Mariah doesn't mention Eminem by name at all throughout the song, but in the first verse, she has the lines, "I should have left it at how you doing. I should have left it at I like your music too. And I should have never called you back when you pursued me," which makes it clear that it was another musician that she's referring to, and clearly showing some regret that she even responded to his pursuit to get to know her. Then in the second verse, she responds to the private jet line from Eminem, once again brushing off the relationship that they had according to him. Also on the chorus, she has the lines, "Who's gonna care when the novelty's over, when the star of the show isn't you anymore?" Which might be a reference to the Eminem Show, which was released earlier that year. That next year, the New York Post reported that Eminem saved multiple voicemails from Mariah Carey. Mariah responded in an interview with the following, "I don't know what the hell he's doing. It's a little excessive. Doesn't it seem a little bit girly, like we're in a cat fight?" Also, when Mariah was on her Charm Bracelet tour, she would perform the Clown song, and during her performance, she would have a dancer in a blonde wig wearing a Detroit jersey, which once again appears to be yet another shot at Eminem. Eminem would do something similar, as in 2005 when he was performing on stage, he would play recordings of Mariah's voice, which were allegedly from voicemails she left him. Mariah would deny that they were real, however. Then in December 2006, Shady Records released the compilation album Eminem Presents The Re-Up, or just the re-up for short. One of the singles from the album is Jimmy Crack Corn, which features Eminem and 50 Cent. On the second verse, Eminem mentions Mariah yet again with the lines, "Meanwhile, your mind's on us like mine's on Mariah, and y'all are just like her, you're all fucking liars. But I'll just keep fucking you like I fucked her right in the ass with KY, yes sir." Once again talking about having sex with Mariah Carey. Also that year, Eminem had an interview in which he spoke about having a relationship with Mariah for about 6 months, but it didn't work out because she's a diva and he's more regular.
You know, yes, me and Mariah did have a relationship for about a good 6-7 months, something like that.
Wow. What happened?
You know,
It just go bad or what?
didn't work.
Shit, man.
I wasn't really into what she was into. We didn't. Our personalities collided.
She didn't like animals?
She's a diva, and I'm not really. I'm a little more like regular, I guess.
In 2005, Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey met when Nick was presenting her with an award at the Teen Choice Awards.
R&B Artist of the Year.
They are Sierra, Mariah Carey, Alicia Keys, and Usher.
Do you guys want to see who the winner is? All right, let's see who the winner is. Who is it? Mariah Carey!
A few years later in 2008, they started dating, and Nick appeared in her music video for the single Bye Bye from her album E=MC². Then on April 30th that year, the couple got married. That next year in May, after a break from releasing albums, Eminem released his 6th album, Relapse. On that album is the track Bagpipes from Baghdad, which is a song about Mariah Carey and to a lesser extent Nick Cannon. On the first verse, he mentions Mariah, her ex-boyfriend, and Nick Cannon with the lines, "Locked in Mariah's wine cellar, all I had for lunch was bread, wine, more bread, wine, and Captain Crunch, red wine for breakfast and for brunch, and to soak it up, and in between snack, crackers to munch. Mariah, what's ever happened to us? Why did we have to break up? All I asked was for a glass of punch. You see, I never really asked for much. I can't imagine what's going through your mind after such a nasty breakup with that Latin hunk, Luis Miguel. Nick Cannon better back the fuck up. I'm not playing, I want her back, you punk." Luis Miguel is the man that Mariah Carey was dating before Eminem, and of course Nick Cannon is the one she married, so M is addressing both men here. On the second verse, Eminem goes on to mention Nick and Mariah again with the lines, "You don't know what the fuck you're doing. I ain't playing no fucking more, Nick Cannon, you prick. I wish you luck with the fucking whore." So yeah, it seems like M really wanted Mariah back, or at least acted like he does. After this track was released, Nick responded with a blog post aimed at Eminem and the whole situation. Then in June that year, Mariah released the hit single Obsessed, which was featured on her album Memoirs of an Imperfect Angel. The song is about a man who is seemingly obsessed with Mariah, which would once again appear to be Eminem. The video for the song makes it even clearer that it's aimed at Eminem, as throughout the video, what appears to be an Eminem lookalike is shown following Mariah around and in a room that's full of Mariah Carey pictures. The funny thing is, Mariah actually played the character herself. Mariah also released a remix to the song which features Gucci Mane, which also has a video which is basically the same as the first, but includes scenes with Gucci. On his verse, he sends subliminal shots at Eminem as well, with lines like, "I guess shorty mad he don't got you no more, so just like Pinocchio his nose gon' grow." The feature by Gucci makes sense, as it doesn't seem like Gucci and Eminem really had a relationship with one another, unlike a lot of other big rappers around this time who had worked together and or listened to Eminem and wouldn't want to be on a diss song to him. The ironic thing about this song is that Eminem years ago put out the song Stan, which was basically about an obsessive fan, very similar to Mariah's song. She might have even been inspired by it actually. Then in July that year, Eminem released The Warning, which was a diss track aimed at Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon once again. In the intro, Eminem says the only reason he dissed Mariah is because she denied seeing him. M also mentions that he's directly responding to the Obsessed track and mentions Nick again with the lines, "I'm obsessed now, oh gee, is that supposed to be me in the video with the goatee? Wow, Mariah, didn't expect you to go balls out. Bitch, shut the fuck up before I put all them phone calls out you made to my house when you was wildin' out before Nick, when you was all on my dick and give you something to smile about. How many times you fly to my house? Still trying to count. Better shut your lying mouth if you don't want Nick finding out." Once again, Eminem stating that he has phone calls and whatnot from back when he and Mariah were dating, which would prove her to be a liar, and he questions what she told Nick about the relationship she had with M. He goes on to mention Nick and how it's not even worth beefing over Mariah with the lines, "You're going to ruin my career. You better get one, like I'ma sit and fight with you over some slut bitch cunt that made me put up with her psycho ass over 6 months and only spread her legs to let me hit once." Later on in the song, he pulls a move from his character in 8 Mile and kinda disses himself as he talks about the time he and Mariah had sex, which apparently only happened once, as he mentioned prior, and he prematurely ejaculated. Then on the end of the verse, Eminem alludes to Mariah seeing her ex-boyfriend Lewis and M at the same time with the lines, "It's a warning shot before I blow up your whole spot, call my bluff and I'll release every fucking thing I got, including the voicemails right before you flipped your top when me and Luis were trying to stick 2 CDs in the same slot." The CDs in the same slot could also be a double entendre, as Luis is also a musician and 2 CDs in a slot being a metaphor for sex. During the song, he also mentions how Mariah took multiple flights out to see him and again refers to her alleged drinking problem. A couple rappers wound up coming to Mariah's defense after this song. Busta Rhymes, for example, who had worked with her on songs before, said that Mariah is her friend and to leave her alone and he hopes that they can be cool. In June 2010, Eminem released his Recovery album, and on the intro track, Cold Wind Blows, he once again makes a mention of Mariah Carey. He wraps up his first verse with the lines, "So puff the Buddha, light a bong, but take a look at Mariah next time I inspired you to write a song, come on." This would most likely be a reference to how the previous year she put out Obsessed, and he responded to her with the warning, which many took as a great response. So basically, he's telling people to fall back and look at what he did to Mariah and Nick. After the album release, Eminem had an interview with Vibe magazine in which he was asked about the Obsessed track. He responded by saying that he's pretty much over it, and the last time he mentioned her was on the Cold Wind Blows track. That same year, likely in response to the mention of Mariah again by Eminem, Nick released a track titled "I'm a Slick Rick," on which he does an impersonation of Slick Rick and uses the beat from the Cali Swag District's hit single "Teach Me How to Dougie," which was later featured on their debut album, The Kickback. He disses Eminem throughout the second verse with lines like, "Now here's a little something that needs to be heard, yo, I'ma serve this clown now, word Nick, word. I don't know if I should hit him cause he's feminine and slick. Excuse me Eminem, while you lying on your dick. Erectile dysfunction, you wanna get him up? Then this between me and you, dude, let's chunk him." Nick on several occasions claimed to want to fight Eminem, probably because he didn't think he could out-rap him, and partly due to just how disrespectful Eminem was towards Mariah. Personally, I don't really blame Nick for it, as he really had nothing to do with Eminem's issue with Mariah, but that was now his wife, so what do you really expect someone to do when their wife, who is one of the biggest music artists, is being dissed by one of the biggest male artists? The track isn't great by any means, but I give him props for defending his wife. Around this time, Nick also offered to have a boxing match against Eminem for $100,000, which M seems to have ignored, as well as the diss track. That next year in April, the couple had their twins, Morocco and Monroe. A few years later, in 2014, the couple announced their separation. Then in November 2016, their divorce was finalized. That same year, Nick put out a track titled "Divorce Papers," which was a response to the struggles he went through, like the divorce of Mariah and the beef with Eminem. He addresses the Eminem beef with the lines, "Haters in my comments saying Eminem the greatest. Shit, I agree, where he at though? I'm a fan, yo, but first and foremost, I'm a man though. That 2010 bullshit, nigga been let that go. Stand Flow, Dear Slim, I Wrote You But You Still Ain't Call, T's Going Cold, The Writing's on the Wall. But dog, there's certain shit I can't stand for, so all the stands gotta understand though. The Dear Slim line is a reference to Eminem's hit single Stand, and like I said previously, Nick is stating how he felt the need to defend his wife, which is completely understandable. Throughout the rest of the song, he talks about the media, the relationship with his kids, and the divorce. Once again, it's not a great performance rap-wise from Nick, but it's quite heartfelt. Also earlier that year, Nick had mentioned in an interview that he was willing to rap battle Eminem, and he also made tweets to M like inviting him to make an appearance on Wild 'N Out. Eminem, however, didn't take Nick up on the offer either. Then on December 6th, 2019, Fat Joe and Dre from Cool and Dre released the album Family Ties, which features the single Lord Above, featuring Eminem. On M's verse, he once again mentions Mariah and Nick with the lines, I know me and Mariah didn't end on a high note, but that other dude's whipped, that pussy got him neutered, tried to tell him this chick's a nut job before he got his jewels clipped, almost got my caboose quicked, fool quit, you not gonna do shit, I'd let her chop my balls off too before I lost to you, Nick. Nothing too new from M, as he's basically said that in previous songs. These lines, however, are in response to an appearance Nick had on T.I.'s Expeditiously podcast, in which they talked about the beef with Eminem, and Nick said that he had wanted to fight M at the time because of the disses to Mariah.
I do recall you having a battle of sorts with the likes of one of the greatest wordsmiths / rappers known to man in Eminem. Hey man,
He didn't want to battle me. It could have went down.
can you blame him? Listen, I think that what was there? It was 100,000. It was a boxing.
I was like,
Duel,
whatever he want to do, I'm with it.
God.
And this motherfucker drop a song, like talking shit, like calling her all kind of bitches and hoes. I'm like, this is my wife. This is my new wife.
Right after the album was released, Nick took to Instagram to respond. He said that the album is fire and Fat Joe did some charity work by bringing Eminem out of his cave and extended an invite to Eminem to come on Wild 'N Out, as well as calling him a grandpa. He also took to his radio show on Power 106 to take a shot at Eminem as well for his age and drug addiction. Shortly after this, Nick put out the song The Invitation, featuring verses by Hitman Holla, Charlie Clips, and Prince Easy, who are rappers that at the time were well known for being on Wild 'N Out with Nick. It also features Suge Knight on the intro and outro, and the singer Krishan on the chorus. On Nick's verse, he has the lines, I heard your chauffeur got a video of you sucking a cock. You paid him off, then laid him off. Now who really the op? Which seems quite random, really, and Eminem would respond to it in a tweet stating that he doesn't even have a chauffeur. The song is okay, I guess. It's better than the previous tracks by Nick, but personally, I could do without the Prince Easy verse and the chorus. The next day, Nick released another diss track, this one titled Pray For Him. This one is credited as featuring the Black Squad, which is from Wild 'N Out. Charlie Clips, Conceited, Hitman Holla, and Prince Easy are featured on the song, once again dissing Eminem. The song samples Renegade, the Eminem song that originally was him and Royce da 5'9", but he gave it to Jay-Z instead, where Royce's verse was removed and replaced with Jay, and it was featured on Jay's Blueprint album. I give them props for actually dissing Eminem. A lot of rappers just seem to be scared to do so. It does make me wonder how much they were getting paid by Nick to be on Wild 'N Out, and if he had to pay them to be on the songs though. Nick comes in after the fourth verse and says that he doesn't need to rap on this song, then proceeds to go and rap on the song anyway. On his verse, he raps in a similar way that Eminem did on Renegade. He disses Eminem for no longer being as good a rapper as he used to be, and for his drug addiction. These are common things that people would say about Eminem, that he has fallen off rap-wise, and his drug addiction is possibly affecting his music too. At the end of his verse, he has the line, I bet you never thought the kill shot would come from the cannon. That's a reference to Kill Shot, which was a diss track aimed at Machine Gun Kelly from Eminem, released in September 2018. Besides beefing with Nick, he was also beefing with other rappers like Machine Gun Kelly and another one that I'll be getting to shortly. I've covered Eminem's beef with MGK before, so check that out after this for the details. This song, like the other ones, got a bunch of hate for some reason. Most likely, mainly from Eminem fans. Granted, none of these are in my top 10 diss tracks either. They're not the worst diss tracks I've heard by any means, and you know I've heard a lot. In response to the disses from Nick, Obi Trice, who used to be signed to Shady Records, released a diss track titled Spanky Hayes, named after the comedian that was featured on Wild 'N Out, who was also from Detroit. The track has Obi just rapping for a minute, and it uses the beat from the Jay-Z song 30-something from his Kingdom Come album. At the end of his verse, he claims that they used to watch Wild 'N Out until Spanky Hayes stopped being on the show. Spanky was on Wild 'N Out from seasons 1 to 6, and then returned again for season 15, which aired that year. Later that month, Nick released yet another diss track, this one titled The Invitation Cancelled. The intro references Ice Cube's classic diss track, No Vaseline, aimed at his former group, NWA. In the beginning, a bunch of samples play from Eminem's lines that were aimed at Mariah and Nick from the various songs I've mentioned prior. The chorus of the song is a sample from a song he made back before he got famous, the infamous Foolish Pride song. According to Eminem, he made it after he got broken up with by a black chick when he was younger and he was angry. Throughout the song, he makes a bunch of negative comments about black chicks and praises white ones. When this was revealed, this had people questioning Eminem. That controversy is what he addressed on his song Yellow Brick Road from his Encore album back in 2004. Unlike the two previous tracks, Nick doesn't have any features on this song, it's just him. He does things like compare M to the KKK and Christopher Columbus. On the second verse, he mentions Lord Jamar from Brand Nubian with the lines, Lord Jamar told your ass you was a guest in our house. I'm trying to find out who the fuck let this pest in our house. He mentions Lord Jamar because in a Vlad TV interview from 2013, he called Eminem a guest in the House of Hip Hop, to which Eminem responded in 2018 on the song Fall from his album Kamikaze. Ironically enough, Eminem also admitted to being a guest in a 2020 interview with Crooked I, now known as King Crooked.
How do you feel about the concept of white rappers being a guest in the House of Hip Hop?
Well, I mean, that's the funny thing. I don't know if I've got a chance to say this yet, but the funny shit is, like, I with the whole beef of a certain person,
right?
I never said I wasn't a guest,
right?
Like, I'm absolutely a guest. Like, I never said I wasn't.
Right.
And I never said I was king of anything.
On the outro of the song, Nick calls out the black people that side with Eminem and then tells M that his invitation is cancelled. This song, like the other ones, got a pretty poor reception. The beef continued on in social media, with Nick making comments in interviews about the situation. Then, in September 2020, Mariah Carey released her memoir titled The Meaning of Mariah Carey, in which Eminem was absent from being mentioned. That likely being an intentional thing and seems to be yet another shot at Eminem from Mariah. Then in June 2021, Mariah took yet another slight dig at M, as when she was doing the Wipe Down Challenge on social media, she wore the same outfit she had on in the Obsessed music video, which once again was made to look like Eminem. Since then, the beef has been quiet again. Overall, the general consensus is that Eminem won things here from a lyrical perspective, which I don't necessarily disagree with. However, like I said before, I also understand why Nick reacted the way he did. Out of the three, Nick seems to get the most hate about the situation, which is weird, honestly, considering he was stuck in the middle of it. I'd like the Obsessed song, but I do believe that she lied about dating Eminem for those 6 months or so, as he mentioned. Nick in an interview said that he believed what his wife told him, which in that case would mean that she lied to him too, which is even more messed up.
if you just saying, yo, I had a bunch of chicks back in the day too, I'll be like, yo, you know.
Nick, we know you have.
Like you,
but then
somebody's wife.
Exactly.
Somebody's wife now.
I would never talk like there's chicks that are married to dudes now. I wouldn't throw it out there like that. But then this is the thing. He lied about it. Like if it really happened, that's what I thought was the sucker shit about it.
But did nothing happen?
They
hung out.
This is what I know.
Okay.
And this is what, if you even listen to his lyrics, it sounds like he's being honest but trying to put extras on it.
Right.
What are your thoughts on the beef? Do you believe Eminem lied? Do you believe Mariah lied? Is the truth somewhere in the middle? Was Nick doing the right thing by his now ex-wife? The M stands seem to believe him, and the Mariah fans seem to believe her. Personally, they all had a part to play in this. It seems like Mariah wanted to keep whatever went on with her and Eminem private, and instead of just admitting it, decided to lie about it, which caused Eminem to get even more heated, in turn dissing her more, which caused Nick to get involved. However, of course, only those two know what fully went on between them. We just saw how it all played out in public.
Now, what's the deal with Eminem? Is that all right? Is that not all right? What happened there? There was some sort of a feud that you referenced him in a thing, and he took it the wrong way, and he went nuts, or what happened?
No. I'm sorry. He continuously references me. I don't know why.
Right.
So I wrote a song that's really an anthem for all like little girls or kids who get like their ponytail pulled and get abused because the boy really is in love with them and they can't be with them.
They don't know how to express their affection. Sure.
Thank you, Dave. Yeah. And so, you know, the song is not about anybody, and yet it could be about anybody.
Ironically enough, despite being a huge hip-hop listener, I'd probably listen to Mariah's music more than either of these two rappers. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on the situation and what else you'd like to hear me talk about.